If you actually want to get rich with AI in 2026, like not the fake guru version, but the real version, there are exactly 3 skills that matter. If you master all 3, your phone won't stop ringing for the next 5-10 years. But if you miss one of them, you're going to watch the money walk past you to the people who are not even clearly as smart as you are. And here's the kicker. The 3rd skill, the one that I'm going to save for the end of the video, is one that almost nobody is actually teaching, which is exactly why the people who lock it in over the next 12 months are going to print money for the next decade. So look, I'm going to walk you through all 3 of these, every single one of them. By the end of this, you know exactly what to focus on, exactly what to ignore, and exactly what the road ahead should look like. Not the version of, some kid with 3 months of life experience and, selling AI in his $37 mini course. No, listen. I want you to stick with me here because the 3rd one flips this entire thing on its head, and most people I know are going to skip it. So after today, you're not going to be like most people. Let's get into it. Right now, there's a giant wave of people who are trying to become what I'd call an AI implementer. So they go learn how to install a chatbot. They work on a workflow in make.com or N8N. They watch a few tutorials. They plug in a voice agent. They set up a CRM, but then they start calling themselves an AI agency. And here's the part that nobody told them. Implementing tools is going to be a commodity, I would say by the end of next year, probably closer by the end of this year. The work itself is getting cheaper and easier every single month, every single week. There's already a tutorial for most every install that you can imagine. And the AIs itself is making the install just like faster every single week, month, quarter. So if your only pitch to a business is I install AI tools, you've signed yourself up to compete on price against everyone else who just watched the same damn tutorial. So that's the implementer trap, and it's only going to get worse. But here's the good news. This is where it gets interesting. The market for actual AI strategy, the kind that solves real problems for real businesses and pulls in real money, is wide open, and almost nobody can do it. And the reason almost nobody can do it is exactly what we're about to break down. 3 skills. Stack them on top of each other, and you're untouchable. Skill number 1, you actually have to understand how business works. This is how almost everybody fails, right? It's because even where the big 4 consulting firms, your PricewaterhouseCoopers, your Deloittes, your KPMGs, they just made one of the biggest mistakes of their entire existence. They fired an entire wave of new junior consultants this past year because they said, well, hey, AI can build a slide deck faster than this kid who came out of Wharton Business School, whatever. Cool. But those junior consultants weren't expensive overhead. Those were the guys and gals who would be the bench for 5 and 10 years from now. So they were the next generation getting trained up in the trade. So the big 4 just torched their entire own future. So here's my prediction. They're going out of business in our lifetimes. And they're going to feel it in about, 5-7 years when they need a senior consultant, a senior partner who doesn't exist because they didn't train them. The real reason real consultants still win right now, it's really simple. AI can spit out a strategy. AI cannot sit in a room with a small business owner, look at the numbers, walk through the operation, and figure out what's exactly broken. Where's the bottleneck? Where's the money leaking? What's the long-term move here? So let me give you a quick example because this one always lands pretty well. Small businesses in the United States miss something like $126,000 every year, every single one of them, on average, just from not answering the phone. So picture a plumber, right? He's underneath the sink. He's got a flashlight in one hand. He's got a wrench in the other, and his phone rings. He can't grab that. So the caller who's calling, I've got a leak, I've got a toilet, a sink, or whatever, they wait 4 or 5 rings, and then they just hang up and call the next plumber on the list. But that call he missed, man, that's either a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 in a service ticket, and it just didn't get answered. Now, listen, the implementer brain might say, cool, let's install a voice agent. Done. Next. But the strategist brain says something completely different. It says, hang on, hold on a second here. How many calls is this guy actually missing in a week? What is his actual average ticket? You say a couple $100, a couple $1,000, whatever it is, but what is the real number? And is the real issue the missed call? Or is it that he's running solo all by himself without a dispatch system? Do we really want to put a voice agent in the front end? Or do we need to rebuild how his whole operation handles inbound first? And once we fix this, what's the next bottleneck? Is it pricing? Is it the upsell at the end of the job? Is it follow-up to past customers? See, the second brain is worth 10 times more than the first because the brain is solving real business problems. The first one is just clicking install on a tool. So skill number 1, learn how the business actually runs. To do that, you just got to read the old books. study the real operators. Find the bottlenecks before you reach for some kind of a tool. So you got to understand how the money flows in, where does it leak, and like what's the long-term play here. Now, hang on, because skill number 2, this is where most marketers are about to lose their jobs too, and where the smart ones are about to make a fortune. Skill number 2, obviously, is marketing. And before anybody says, well, Steven, AI writes copy now. We don't need marketers anymore. Slow down, hurricane. Hang on, tornado. Take it easy, tsunami. Whatever it is. Listen, AI has been trained on 20 years of garbage marketing textbooks by professors who never sold a damn thing in their lives. That's what the input data is. And you guys know the phrase garbage in, garbage out. So unless you know what actually looks good, and unless you know what's actually great, you're going to put out AI-generated Instagram ads. You're going to throw some money behind it, and you're going to watch it flop. And then you're going to turn around and say, well, ChatGPT, why did it flop so bad? And the AI is going to make up another bullshit reason that's all wrong. And you're going to burn through $2,000-3,000 before you even figure out that the loop is broken. So here's where the real edge lives. And this is the part that nobody on YouTube is actually talking about. And it's worth more than every prompt pack that you've ever bought. If you walk into ChatGPT and you say, hey, write me an ad, you're going to get an average output, maybe below average, maybe something that sounds like a corporate brochure trying to be your best friend. But if you walk in and you say, hey, look, write me an ad in the spirit of Gary Halbert's coat of arms letter. I want it structured like John Carlton's Classifieds with a Robert Coyer style emotional close. Like now you're like kind of conducting the orchestra, and AI knows who all of these people are. It read every word they've ever wrote. It knows their cadence, their hooks, their structure, their psychology, but it's not going to reach for those things unless you tell it to. And that's like the whole thing. The marketer brain knows the lineage. Halbert, Hopkins, Ogilvy, Carlton, Caples, Schwartz, the whole library. You don't have to write like them yourself, but you do have to know they exist, number one, and you have to know which ones to point the AI to depending on what you're selling and who you're selling it to. Like that's the marketing skill in 2026. It's not writing anymore, it's directing. So if you understand how customers actually think, what makes them stop, what makes them pay attention, what makes them pull out a credit card, and you know how to point AI to the right reference material, you can produce more high-performing creative in a week than an entire agency could put out in a quarter. And that's the leverage that nobody 10 years ago had. And it's sitting on the table right now, just waiting for someone with the right knowledge to pick it up. Now, skill number 3. And this is the one I told you about at the start. This is the one that almost nobody is teaching. Pay attention here, because this is the one that quietly separates the winners from the wannabes. Skill number 3, you have to know things. And look, I know how that sounds, but stay with me for a second. The skill of the next decade, and I think this is going to be the most underrated thing happening in the entire AI conversation right now, is fast knowledge acquisition. Being able to learn a subject in a week that used to take a year, being able to read a topic and figure out what's good, what's nonsense, who the real experts are, and what threads actually matter. Now, AI can give you all the raw information in the world, but it can't tell you what information matters for a specific situation. That part is still on you. And the people who are good at it are about to lap everybody else on a margin that's like embarrassingly large. Here's the difference. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. So you got a guy who knows nothing, and he goes and prompts AI like a guy who walks into the library asking the librarian, hey, just give me a good book. Like, sure, you'll get something, but it probably won't be the right thing. You'll waste 4 hours and end up exactly where you started. But now the guy who knows things prompts AI like he's running a research team. He pulls from copywriting, from psychology, from operations, from negotiations, from sales, from the specific industry he's working in. He references frameworks, mental models, real case studies. He names experts. He gets answers 10 times sharper because he was already smart enough to ask 10 times sharper questions. So here's the move. You read random books. You study random subjects. You build the widest base you can possibly build because you want to be the person at the dinner table who can have a real conversation about marketing and history and finance and psychology and 300 other things, because every single one of those things is going to come back and pay you when you sit down at your keyboard. The wider your base, the more leverage you get out of the tool, period. And that's the secret that nobody is telling you. And it's the reason why people who already read a lot, who've already studied a lot, who already collected lots of random expertise and experiences Those people are about to absolutely run away with this thing. Now, put all these three things together. Business knowledge in one circle, marketing skill in another, knowledge acquisition feeding both of them. The middle, where all three overlap, that's what we call the AI strategist. And that's the role that's going to print money in 2026 and 2027, probably for the rest of the next decade. Not the implementer, not the prompt engineer, not the kid selling a $37 chat bot, not templates on Fiverr, like the strategist. The person who walks into a business, understands what's broken, he knows what tools to fix it, he knows how to position it to the customer, he knows exactly enough to, about the world to actually ask AI the right questions instead of begging it for an answer. And that's the whole role. That's the seat at the table that pays for everything, right? So if you're sitting here right now and you're wondering, what the hell do I do with all this? Here's what you should do. If you're already on the implementer track, don't quit, just don't stop there. Implementer is the floor. Strategist is the ceiling. So you got to use what you've already learned about the tools and start filling the gaps. So you got to start reading business books. Yes, read the books, study real operators. I want you to pull out the old copywriting classics. I want you to build your knowledge base every single week. If you haven't started yet, even better, you can build the right way from day one. You can stack all three skills at the same time. But listen, pick one industry. Pick one type of business and just go learn it deeply. And while you're learning the tools, and listen, only if you remember one thing from this entire video, remember this. The money in AI is not the tool. It never will be. The money is in the person who knows what to do with the tool. It always has been. It always will be. And the person who gets this and starts stacking the right skills right now are going to be the ones running the show 2 years from now. And they're going to have more clients than they can handle. They're going to charge more money than they ever thought possible. And they're going to be just running away with this thing, and it just won't end. The rest are going to spend the next 2 years wondering why the work just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper, and why everyone doesn't want to pay them, and why clients keep walking away. So listen, you know which side you want to be on. So go build it.